There's a moment in life when you finally understand something the Stoics tried to teach for centuries. Most of your suffering comes from the way you fight reality, not from reality itself. You worry because you think worry will somehow protect you. You stress because you believe stress proves you care. You overthink because you fear that if you stop, something will collapse. But here's the truth you rarely hear. Worry is a habit, not a solution, and habits can be unlearned. There's a strange kind of peace that appears when you stop trying to control things you were never meant to control. It's subtle at first, like the feeling of unclenching a fist you didn't realize was tight. But once you experience it, even for a second, something inside you shifts forever. You start to understand why Marcus Aurelius once wrote that the mind adapts and transforms whatever happens to it. Because the mind doesn't break from pressure, it breaks from resistance to pressure. Think about the last time you panicked over something that eventually resolved on its own. Maybe it was a message someone didn't respond to. Maybe it was a situation you replayed in your head. Maybe it was a future scenario that never actually happened. You worried, you suffered, you spiraled. And after all of that, the moment passed anyway. The Stoics called this borrowing pain, creating suffering before anything real has occurred. They believed this is where 90% of human misery comes from, not events, but imagination. And here's the part that hits hardest. Nothing has ever been made better by worrying about it. You have never solved a problem by panicking. You have never improved a situation by obsessing. You have never healed faster by stressing over the outcome. Worry doesn't prepare you, it drains you. Imagine your mind like a field. Every thought is a seed. When you worry, you don't pull out the weeds, you water them, you feed them, you grow them. And the more you feed fear, the more power it gains. This is why the first Stoic truth is simple, but life-changing. Release what isn't yours to carry. You don't need to predict every outcome. You don't need to solve tomorrow today. You don't need to control things happening outside your hands. Your job is to take care of what is yours, your actions, your responses, your mindset. And when you do that, life becomes lighter. Not because life changes, but because you do. The weight you've been dragging wasn't the world, it was your own resistance. This is where the journey begins. Not with force, not with control, but with letting go of the things that were never meant to be your burden. Stay with me. There's a Stoic truth most people never realize until life forces them to confront it. Your mind is capable of creating suffering far greater than anything the world can do to you. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to free you. Because the moment you understand that your mind creates fear, you also understand that your mind can uncreate it. Think about this. How many times have you panicked over a future that never arrived? How many nights have you lost sleep replaying a situation that resolved itself within days? How many hours have you wasted imagining the worst-case scenario, only for reality to be completely different? The Stoics believed that the mind exaggerates fear in the same way a child exaggerates shadows in the dark. The danger feels real, the anxiety feels real, the tension feels real, but the threat, most of the time, it isn't real at all. Epictetus said, "You suffer more in imagination than in reality." And if you've ever spiraled into worry, you know exactly what he meant. Your mind has a habit of magnifying everything, every silence, every uncertainty, every unknown. It builds entire stories out of small details, entire fears out of small possibilities. Why? Because the human mind hates uncertainty. It prefers a painful story over no story at all. So when it doesn't know what's happening, it invents danger. But here's what the Stoics discovered. You don't have to believe every thought your mind produces. Just because a thought appears doesn't make it true. Just because fear rises doesn't mean there is something to fear. Just because your mind imagines pain doesn't mean pain is coming. Imagine your thoughts like clouds passing overhead. Some are dark, some are heavy, some move fast, some linger. But no cloud defines the sky. No cloud is permanent. No cloud belongs to you. The problem is not the cloud, it's the way we grab onto it, analyze it, fear it, and allow it to shape our entire mood. But the Stoics practiced a different approach. Observe the thought, don't absorb it. When fear arises, don't get pulled in, just watch. Let it pass, let it dissolve. And you'll notice something strange. Most worries evaporate the moment you stop feeding them. Your mind is powerful, far more powerful than you realize. But power without understanding becomes chaos. Power without awareness becomes anxiety. Power without discipline becomes suffering. This is why the second Stoic truth matters. Your thoughts are not commands, they are suggestions. You choose which ones to believe. When you learn to separate thought from reality, fear loses its grip, overthinking weakens, worry softens, and peace becomes something you can access, not something you chase. There is a moment in every Stoic's life, and eventually in yours, when you finally understand the difference between suffering and peace. It happens the moment you realize this simple truth. You only control two things in this world: your actions and your attitude. Everything else is noise. Most of your worry comes from trying to control what was never yours to control. You stress about what people think. You analyze how situations will unfold. You try to manage outcomes, reactions, feelings, opinions, timing, fate, and you exhaust yourself. Why? Because you are fighting battles that do not belong to you. You are trying to steer a ship that isn't your own. You are carrying weight that was never meant for your hands. Epictetus called this the greatest mistake a human being can make, confusing the things you influence with the things you control. Influence is limited, control is internal. The Stoics believed that every worry in life can be traced back to one question: am I trying to control something outside of me? If the answer is yes, then worry becomes inevitable. If the answer is no, peace becomes natural. Think about it. You don't control whether someone loves you. You don't control whether someone misunderstands you. You don't control the economy, the weather, other people's actions, or the outcomes of every choice. You don't even control tomorrow. You control only your response, the thoughts you allow, the emotions you choose to feed, the actions you decide to take. Imagine your life like a circle. Inside the circle, your choices, your habits, your mindset, your reactions, your effort, your character. Outside the circle, other people's behavior, their opinions, their loyalty, their choices, outcomes, timing. The future worry grows the moment you place your focus outside the circle. Peace grows the moment you return it to the inside. This is why Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Most people try to control the world. Stoics try to control themselves. And that is why Stoics worry less. Because the moment you stop trying to force life to cooperate, the moment you stop trying to manage everything beyond your reach, the moment you let go of outcomes and focus only on input, something incredible happens. Your anxiety fades, your mind quiets, your energy returns. Worry dies the moment you accept this truth: I did what I could, the rest is not my burden. And when you live this way consistently, fear shrinks, uncertainty loses its teeth, and life stops feeling like a storm because you no longer try to control the wind, you simply adjust your sails. One of the greatest roots of human worry is the craving for certainty. We want to know what will happen. We want the path to be clear. We want assurance before we move, guarantees before we risk, predictions before we decide. But here is the uncomfortable truth the Stoics understood better than anyone. Certainty is an illusion, and the more you chase it, the more anxious you become. Think about it. How much of your life have you spent trying to predict outcomes, trying to control the future, trying to get clarity from people who themselves are uncertain, trying to avoid mistakes, avoid pain, avoid loss? The more you try to secure the future, the heavier the present feels. Why? Because your mind is attempting the impossible. You're trying to grab smoke with your bare hands. The tighter your grip, the less you hold. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't let your imagination be crushed by the fear of the future." He didn't say, "Don't think about the future." He said, "Don't be crushed by what you imagine about it." The future is not your enemy. Your imagined version of the future is. You don't fear tomorrow, you fear the story your mind is telling about tomorrow. You don't fear uncertainty, you fear the loss of control. You don't fear the unknown, you fear not being prepared for it. But here is the paradox. Uncertainty is not a threat, it is life itself. Everything meaningful in your life came from uncertainty. The people you met unexpectedly, the moments you didn't plan, the opportunities you didn't anticipate, the growth that came from chaos rather than comfort. Certainty might feel safe, but it kills possibility. Uncertainty might feel scary, but it creates transformation. The Stoics weren't fearless because life was easy for them. They were fearless because they stopped demanding that life be predictable. Epictetus taught, "When something happens, remind yourself it was expected." Meaning not that you knew the event itself, but that you accepted the nature of life. Fluid, shifting, uncontrollable, alive. When you stop resisting uncertainty, something incredible happens. Life stops feeling like a storm to defend yourself from and starts feeling like a river to move with. You no longer panic when plans change. You no longer break when people leave. You no longer freeze when the next step is unclear. You learn to adapt instead of fear. Because uncertainty is not chaos, it is the space where you grow. It is the territory where new versions of you are formed. Worry comes from wishing life would stay still. Peace comes from learning to move with it. And it all begins with this Stoic truth. I do not need certainty to be calm. I only need the strength to handle whatever comes. There is a moment in life when you realize something painful but liberating. Most of your suffering comes not from what you experience, but from what you cling to. Attachment is subtle. It hides in the things you tell yourself you need. It disguises itself as love, loyalty, ambition, even hope. But the Stoics warned us that attachments, especially the unconscious ones, are the roots of emotional turmoil. You become attached to outcomes, attached to people, attached to stories, attached to who you think you should be, attached to what you believe life owes you. And when those attachments are threatened, your mind panics. It tightens, it spirals, it worries. Because attachment says, I cannot be okay unless this stays exactly the way I want. And life says, I will not stay the way you want. This tension is where suffering grows. Seneca wrote, "He who is wise is prepared for every event, not because he knows what will happen, but because he does not hinge his inner peace on external conditions." Think about a closed fist. When you hold something too tightly, your hand strains, your muscles tire, your arm becomes tense. But the moment you release the grip, the tension disappears. The same is true with the mind. Worry is the mind gripping too tightly. Freedom is the mind learning how to let go. Letting go doesn't mean abandoning what you care about. It doesn't mean becoming emotionless or indifferent. It means this: you stop tying your peace to things you cannot control. You can love someone without clinging to them. You can pursue a goal without fearing its loss. You can care deeply without depending on the outcome. You can invest in life without demanding guarantees. The Stoics practiced a powerful idea called light holding. It means treating everything you value with care, but not possession. You hold it gently, not desperately. You appreciate it, but you do not imprison it. You enjoy it, but you do not base your identity on it. Most worry dissolves the moment you adopt this mindset. You worry less because you cling less. You fear less because you expect less control. You suffer less because you stop trying to trap life in place. Everything you have is borrowed. Everything you love is temporary. Everything you experience is passing. This isn't meant to make you sad, it's meant to make you free. Because once you accept the impermanence of everything, you stop fighting reality. You stop forcing outcomes. You stop fearing change. And that is when you finally feel peace. The quiet, grounded, unshakable peace that comes from living with open hands instead of clenched fists. There comes a point in your life when you realize the past is not hurting you anymore. You are hurting yourself by carrying it. Not because you're weak, not because you're broken, but because no one ever taught you how to put the past down. The Stoics understood something modern psychology now confirms. Pain doesn't stay alive on its own. It stays alive because we feed it with memory. Every time you replay what happened, every time you analyze what you should have said, every time you reopen an old wound, your mind experiences the event as if it's happening again. The body doesn't know the difference. Your nervous system reacts. Your emotions flare, your thoughts spiral, and suddenly you're reliving a moment that no longer exists. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." But most people flip this. They try to control events that already happened while letting their mind run freely into painful memories. The past cannot hurt you, but your attachment to it can. You aren't battling the event, you're battling the echo. Imagine you're walking with a heavy backpack. Inside are old regrets, old heartbreaks, old failures, old guilt. Some of these memories haven't been relevant for years, yet you keep carrying them as if they're still happening. The Stoics would ask you, why do you suffer twice? The event hurt once. Your memory of it hurts repeatedly. But here is the truth most people never hear. You do not heal by revisiting the wound. You heal by refusing to reopen it. Letting go of the past is not forgetting it. It is choosing not to live inside it. It means saying, that moment shaped me, but it does not define me. It means releasing the old narrative you've repeated for years, the one that says you were wrong, or unworthy, or not enough, or too late, or betrayed, or abandoned. It means stepping out of the story you've been trapped in and writing a new one. Your past becomes powerless the moment you stop returning to it. Because the past is a place for learning, not a place for living. The Stoics believed every day is a clean page, but most people keep copying old chapters onto new mornings. You deserve better than that. The future cannot begin until you stop dragging yesterday into today. When you finally set down what is already gone, your mind becomes lighter, your heart becomes calmer, and life becomes something you can move toward instead of something you feel trapped behind. Stay with me. There is a truth the Stoics understood with absolute clarity. Your inner voice becomes your inner world, and your inner world becomes your entire life. Most people think worry comes from circumstances, but the deeper truth is this: your worry comes from the way you talk to yourself about those circumstances. Your mind is always speaking, always narrating, always interpreting, always judging, always predicting. And if that inner voice is harsh, fearful, or chaotic, your life will feel harsh, fearful, and chaotic, even if nothing dangerous is happening. A calm life cannot exist inside an anxious mind. Seneca said, We suffer more often in mind than in reality. But what he really meant was this: we suffer because of the stories we tell ourselves. The mind says, something is wrong, something bad is coming, you won't handle this, they're judging you, you're failing. And the moment you believe that voice, your body reacts as if the threat is real. Your heart races, your breath shortens, your stomach tightens, your thoughts spiral. Not because the world is dangerous, but because your mind is speaking to you like it is. Here's the part most people never learn. Your inner voice was trained, and it can be retrained. You were not born worrying. You were not born overthinking. You were not born expecting the worst. These patterns were learned from experience, from childhood, from fear, from trauma, from the environment around you. And anything learned can be unlearned. The Stoics practiced a simple but powerful technique. They intentionally replaced destructive thoughts with rational ones. Not positive thinking, clear thinking. When the mind said, "This will go wrong," they answered, "Perhaps, but I'll handle it." When the mind said, "They don't like you," they asked, "Do I know that for certain?" When the mind said, "You're not enough," they responded, "According to whose standard?" They didn't allow the mind to speak without challenge. They made their inner voice an ally instead of an enemy. Imagine speaking to yourself the way you would speak to someone you care about. Imagine offering yourself patience instead of pressure, understanding instead of criticism, reason instead of panic. Your entire emotional life would change, because the truth is simple. Worry is amplified by a hostile inner voice. Peace is created by a kinder one. You don't need perfect thoughts, you just need thoughts that don't attack you. When your inner voice softens, your anxiety softens, your fear decreases, your mind steadies, your life feels less threatening. This is the Stoic truth most people overlook. You cannot control the world, but you can control the voice that interprets it, and that changes everything. There is a final truth the Stoics repeated more than almost anything else. Worry cannot survive in the present moment. Worry needs time to grow. It needs the future unknown, unpredictable, imagined. It needs the mind to wander. It needs what if, and maybe, and someday. But in the present moment, the actual moment you are living, you are almost always safe. You are breathing. You are capable. You are handling things one step at a time. The problem is not the present. The problem is that your mind is rarely here. It's reliving the past. It's rehearsing the future. It's replaying old mistakes. It's predicting worst-case scenarios. It's trying to solve problems that do not exist yet. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present, not to punish you, not to limit you, but because he understood something essential. The present moment is the only place where peace exists." Ask yourself, right now, not yesterday, not tomorrow, is something truly wrong? Is there an actual threat here in this exact second? Is the situation currently happening, or is it happening only in your mind? Most of the time, the answer is simple. Nothing is happening. You are okay. The fear is imagined. The danger is mental. The mind is living in a reality that doesn't exist. And this is why the present moment is powerful. It reveals the illusion. The Stoics trained themselves to return to the present through simple grounding practices, focusing on the breath, observing a physical sensation, feeling the weight of the body, noticing sounds, paying attention to what is in front of them. These aren't spiritual rituals, they are practical methods for interrupting the mind's habit of time travel, because the mind loves to wander. But peace lives only where your feet are. Worry says, "What if everything goes wrong?" The present says, "What is happening right now?" Worry says, "You won't handle it." The present says, you are handling everything so far. Worry says, you're not ready. The present says, you only need to be ready for this moment. The Stoics believed that if you can master the present, you can master your mind, because once you return to this moment, this breath, this task, this choice, this reality, the future stops overwhelming you. The past stops punishing you. Your thoughts stop spiraling. Your anxiety softens. Your mind clears. Worry loses its power when you stop feeding it with time. Life doesn't happen yesterday. Life doesn't happen tomorrow. Life happens now, and now is the only moment you ever need the strength for. If you've made it this far, something inside you is already changing. Not because the world suddenly became easier, not because your problems vanished, but because you are beginning to reclaim the one thing the Stoics guarded above all else: your inner peace. You've learned that worry is not a requirement, it's a habit. You've learned that most suffering comes from imagination, not reality. You've learned that control begins and ends within your own mind. You've learned that uncertainty is not the enemy. Attachment is. You've learned that the past has no power unless you drag it into the present. You've learned that your inner voice can either destroy your peace or create it. And you've learned that the present moment is the only place where strength actually exists. These truths are not theories. They are tools, weapons against worry, anchors against chaos, guides for the days when your mind feels heavy and your heart feels tired. Carry them with you. Let them shape the way you breathe, the way you think, the way you respond, the way you move through the world. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be fearless. You don't have to be unshakable every day. You just have to remember this: you are stronger than your worry, because you are the one who chooses which thoughts get to stay. If this journey spoke to you, if even one truth brought you peace, then don't walk away quietly. Let this be the beginning of something, a new chapter, a new mindset, a new way of meeting life. Subscribe if you haven't already, comment which Stoic truth hit you the deepest, and share this with someone whose mind feels heavy right now. And remember, you don't need to control the world to feel calm inside it. You just need to master the space between the event and your response. Thank you, truly, for watching. Stay centered, stay grounded, and keep walking the Stoic path, one clear, steady breath at a time.